A massive demonstration is underway in Berlin, one that has exceeded all expectations. What was supposed to be a general protest against the dismissal of the former police chief has turned into an armed revolt. Revolutionaries backed by the KPD and the USPD overwhelm garrisons and occupy the government newspaper and communication buildings. Interestingly, only a couple of weeks earlier the USPD were part of the Social Democrat coalition in power now, but split off due to disagreements about the war effort and how reform should be conducted, and so they sided with the KPD instead. Later that evening, the leaders of the left, specifically Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht of the Spartacist League, could not agree on how to proceed. Karl, after seeing the success of the demonstration, insisted that the time was right for a Russian-style second revolution that would install a council republic, just as Lenin had done the year prior. However, Rosa thought the call for an armed uprising was premature and favoured the idea of reform through negotiations. Eventually, after all their bickering, it was voted that a general strike was to be held for the following day, which was met with a resounding turnout. On January 6, over 500,000 demonstrators went on strike in Berlin, and Karl, despite the KPD coming out against the idea of a second revolution, called for the overthrow of the interim Social Democratic government. This demonstration had now become an improvised uprising, with the first shots being exchanged, but most of the demonstrators understood the call was only for a general strike, and when fighting commenced, the majority of the people did not take up arms, instead dispersing. It was clear by the next day that the uprising was hopeless, but the revolutionaries still in control of government buildings were hopeful for negotiations, but they failed too. The decision to crush the revolution by force was already decided upon by the government, and on January 8th, it was declared that violence can only be met with violence. But after the horrors of the Great War, the demoralized soldiers of the German army were not in the mood to fight again, so the government came up with an idea. New Freikorps units would be created, which were a paramilitary force made from anti-communist volunteers of both veterans and young men who were angry about the war, allowing them to unleash it on the revolutionaries. By January 11th, the government made its move, and the revolutionaries, who were ultimately outnumbered and outgunned, were crushed. Historically, the Spartacist Uprising lasted just over a week and was a messy, unplanned, and spontaneous revolt that was doomed to fail. The lack of communication and disagreements on the part of its leaders was its demise, and the death toll reached 156, with only 13 of those being government forces. The brutal execution of Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht followed, carried out in a basement only a few days after its failure, leaving Germany with an uncertain future and economic hardship, paving the way for you-know-who. However, in this game, I attempt to reignite the Spartacist Uprising, plunging Germany into a civil war, fanning the flames of the workers' revolution across Europe, and redefining what it means to be German by establishing a council republic with Germany at its centre. Hi, I'm Colonel Cam, and welcome to 9 years as Spartacist Germany in Hearts of Iron 4. Hello guys, sorry about the blurring. YouTube has made it so I can't show any firearms in the video or I get demonetized, so sorry about that. Before we get into the video, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 50k subscribers before my birthday on December 6th. It's going to be really close. Also, I'm doing a Q&A when I hit 50k, so I'll leave a comment down below for you to reply to any questions that you want me to answer in my Q&A when I eventually hit 50k subscribers. So the sooner I hit 50k, the sooner those questions will be answered. Anyway, let's get straight into the video. Okay, the last time we played Germany, I played historical Germany, and I failed miserably. I'm definitely going to retry that. But now I want to play Germany again, and this time we are doing the opposite. I want to do the communist path because I'm very interested, especially when I do my intro, I'm really interested in learning about this legacy of the Spartacist League. This is apparently a real thing. I don't know anything about this. This is me before researching for my intro. You know, this update probably makes ahistorical games a lot more fun. Because I remember in ahistorical, Germany can just like coup Austria and make them form Austria-Hungary, and then coup Italy and just make them join the Central Powers, like basically no matter what path they do. So I'm hoping that's fixed, because that made ahistorical games so much worse, because you just knew what was going to happen. It was just going to be, as soon as Germany goes monarchist, you just know you lost Central Europe and Italy. Like that was it. It was over. I could spend like another 10 minutes ranting about what I'm going to do instead of actually doing it, but I'm not going to, because you're here to see the video. All of the national spirits are the same as my last one. Go check that out. I play it for the first time, early access, and I had no idea what I was doing, but now I do. And the first thing is I want to do the opposite economy focus. The other one is terrible. Don't do the historical one. You got to do the history economy focus. Let's go and do the first ahistorical focus. Rally the Wehrmacht, which will cause the Civil War, and hopefully with this new DLC, it won't make it too hard now. There was also this event where we can convince the Navy to be on our side, as long as we invest in them in the future, which I agree, but then I don't actually do it. We got recovering economy now. That's what it gave us. Okay, so this is just going to improve over time, where the other one starts good and then it goes worse over time. Purge the scum from our lands. Look at this. So what do we get? August von Mackensen, the great war hero. And we get rebellions. There it is. There's the Civil War. Okay, and it begins. So I did what I normally do and do the same strategy where I just push to Czechoslovakia, trying to cut them in half. But also, there is a time limit to this Civil War. If we don't do it within 210 days, we get an uprising in Silesia, which is kind of confusing because that is currently next to Poland, and the Germans, the bad Germans own that. It doesn't really matter that much. I'm going to get it done within 210 days, okay? It's going to happen. I've actually just gotten back from holiday, so I might be a bit rusty. I'm not going to lie. Expedited communists returning home. Yeah, we're going to welcome back we need communist support. So welcome back, comrades. It seems that my usual strategy was working pretty well. I even pulled off this encirclement with a questionable amount of divisions. Then I continued on to Czechoslovakia, where I eventually cut him in half, and pretty much from then it's a done deal. Hey, we got a guy, a communist dude freed from prison. He actually doesn't have anything really to do with the Spartacist League. He was the leader of the KPD, or former leader. But either way, he would become our future leader. Alright, there we go. Nuremberg has fallen. There's also so many good advisors, like I'm stacking political power at this point. Munich has fallen. Okay, while this is happening, I think we can also push in the north. I want to wait till my army's here though. They're all out of supply here, what? Hang on. Can I do something like this? If they're all out of supply, I can probably try and push through here. I think it's done. It's all done and dusted now. This is, yeah. My tank is just going through. Get to Dresden, maybe up to Berlin. Okay, so it seems the Civil War wasn't that much harder. That's good. They didn't make it harder. This was actually kind of the same difficulty. We made it to Berlin, and that would pretty much be the end of the Civil War, but we're not communist yet, and there's still the threat of a second Civil War. That's it. Finished. Did we do it in time? Yes. Okay, so there's still 64 days, but I need to do this. I need to start dealing with... What do I need to do? How do I do it then? I had to complete a focus called 10 the Future of Germany, which is only 14 days, so I had plenty of time. It's all good. Alright, August von Mackensen has retired from the military. He served us well. Now we enter a period of instability. August von Mackensen is in charge, but the longer he stays in power, the more instability we get. Growing public dissent. Gosh, how many timer things do we have? So what's this? 100 days. We get uncertain future. Well, he's not even head of the... Oh, he needs to be head of the... We need to get rid of August von Mackensen. Okay, we need to get rid of him. Rebuild the nation. Done. What does revitalize the nation? The next thing was to start the proletariat revolution, but unfortunately I don't think I can do it in time to avoid growing dissent, so I'm gonna get those debuffs anyway, but it doesn't matter, we'll be fine. Oh, I need to do this one. And I need more than 50% support for the Communist Party. I'm at 31. Yep, we are definitely getting that uncertain future. That's I can't avoid that. There we go, the German military junta faces an uncertain future. With the Civil War finally at an end, the German nation is slowly rebuilding, but its people are longing for stability and security. Mackensen has made no effort to move forward and seems uninterested in deciding what future of the new German state should look like. This has caused great concern in the population, who are eager to move away from its broken past. What? We have another civil war? We could have another civil war. Activates mission. Imminent proletarian revolutions. And I do not want to have my army cut in half again, so I better do this peacefully. Anyway, I decided to turn my tanks from just normal light tanks into flamethrower support company tanks, because how cool is that? And I actually did it properly this time. I changed it from light tank to flamethrower support. Alright, let's make this flamethrower tank. This will officially be my first flamethrower tank, because I did it wrong last time. I didn't actually make it a flamethrower tank, so now I am. Anyway, the proletariat revolution has begun, and if we are not communist within 120 days, we go into a civil war, so I better hurry up. And to become communist, we need over 50% support. Inflexible communist organizer, that's what we're looking for. So now we should be getting way more per day. Okay, so what does this all do? It just gives, we lose stability, but we gain communism support. If this timer runs out, there's a civil war. We're doing a rally, or a proletarian uprising, and Hamburg, or Holstein, that was. Hey, we got these communist guys. Are they any good? They're just militias. Whatever. They'll do. Alright, what's our popularity for that? 41.27. How many days have we got? 129. Holding the rallies and doing the focuses means my communist support was going way more than I needed it to be. So I was confident that I was going to avoid the civil war. No, we're really close. Less than 1% away now. I don't need to do any more uprisings. That would decrease the stability below 30, and that's no good. Okay, I have 70 days. I pray that this is not a 70-day focus. It's 35, thank gosh. Okay, if it was 70 days, I'd be cutting it close, man. That would be way too close. But there we go. The people have spoken, and the people have been heard. Oh, there we go. The people's victory. We're red. We are literally red. The Socialist Republic of Germany. There's the GDR flag. We got Ernst Thälmann. The stern communist. We lose political power. Surrender limit goes to through the roof. And look at that communism support. But there was still another choice. What kind of communism were we going to be? Were we just going to be a puppet of the Soviet Union and do whatever Daddy Stalin says? Or are we going to go our own way and revive the legacy of the Spartacist League? Legacy of the Spartacist League. The Spartacist League ceased to exist in 1919 as Kommunistische Party Deutschlands was formed, but some of their ideas are worth bringing back. The League had visions of creating a socialist republic with its basis in democratic elections and the will of the people, yet allowing revolutionary groups if need be. It is time to work towards this goal once more. 50 political power will now be called this. I'm not pronouncing that. Arbeiter Party. Oh, I can say that. I can say Arbeiter Party. There we go. Workers' Party. Communist Workers' Party becomes the ruling party. Public elections will not be held. Gets event a leader for the people. Ooh, we can choose our leader. The first option is to keep our leader Ernst Thälmann, who is a militia enthusiast, I guess. He gives militia attack and defense, which is incredibly useful. The second option is this Heinrich Brandler guy, who gives like all this factory output and product efficiency stuff. He's like a trade unionist. I decide to keep Ernst Thälmann. He broke out of prison and wants to give militia attack and defense. I'm okay with that. Man, lack of resources penalty goes down. Marxist philosopher, research speed, political power gain. Oh, that's so good. Why is there so many good ones? I decided to research in my facilities the super heavy howitzers as well. They're pretty useful because they're like better, but they're just better support artillery, so I might as well put it in. Anyway, 1938 is coming up, and this would be when we begin to spread the workers' revolution beyond our borders. Und weil der Mensch ein Mensch ist, drum braucht was. Okay, let's do social ownership. Then I think we can liberate Austria at some point. What is world tension? It's already 13. It's all Japan, man. All right, let's get all this production stuff. Now, my strategy in terms of my army isn't going to be the meta, okay? You guys, if you've watched my videos for a while, you know I like to roleplay a bit, and I don't just do the meta for every game I play. Because we are communist, and we have a leader that gives attack and defense, my army is going to be mainly composed of militia units with maybe a small group of an actual professional military. This has its advantages, like being able to train a lot of them. Communist army is just all militias. It's just all people's militias, guys. Oh yeah, also you remember how I promised the Kriegsmarine to invest in them if they sided with me in the Civil War? Well, I didn't do that, and they're finally revolting. Here we go, the Kriegsmarine coup d'etat. Alright, purges. Years after we made our promise to restore the Navy to its former glory, it seems that Erich Raeder and the Kriegsmarine have had enough of our endless stalling, as they earlier today attempted a coup d'etat against our government. Luckily for us, it failed, but in order to make sure that this doesn't happen again, we must purge many high-ranking officials and elements within our forces. Alright, you can't be communist and not purge anyone. Oh, I also want to do this. Let's sign the Second Treaty of Berlin before we attack Austria. So then people know, don't mess with us. So now we have a non-aggression pact with Stalin, which is good. And the second one is that we can guarantee each other's independence. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm not really too threatened. France hasn't joined the Allies, and Italy is the only right-wing country left in Europe. And they're not much of a threat. I think we should nationalize in industries. Modify a recovering economy even more. Our economy is starting to improve, and I also decided to do a reshuffle of my political advisors, because some are better than others that I have right now. The time has come for our first aggressive move of the video. It is time to go to war and liberate Austria. So I began setting up my army, mostly composed of mountaineers, and my tanks were set up next to the one plains tile that we border with Austria. I'm excited to incorporate Austria into our great People's Republic. Actually, this flag goes so hard. What a great flag. Alright, liberate Austria, done. So then we just go to war with them. Okay. I also want to include, get rid of this guy, get one more communist dude. Hermann Dunker. This guy gives, yeah, he's good. For the product efficiency stuff. They aren't guaranteed by anyone? No, let's just go in. Cool allies, don't have any. Austria! I thought this would be harder, considering it's all mountains, but Austria put up little to no resistance. And before I knew it, my tanks were rolling into the capital, Vienna. There it is. Alright. I'm sure we can just annex them. We won't need to set up a puppet government. Unfortunately, no, we're supposed to puppet them, but I can just release them as a puppet anyway, it doesn't really matter. But this is because of one really cool mechanic, the Volkscommissariats. These are basically just puppets that we can integrate later. The next war goal in my focus tree just happens to be against Italy, and this one would actually be hard. So this is my second time playing from 1939, and well, the first time everything got really weird really quickly. Things went completely wrong, and I ended up, when I capitulated France, it ended up going all to Japan. Okay, so it was so like cooked. It was terrible. So I'm back playing 1939, and I'm gonna try and do things a bit earlier, especially well, you'll see. I'm not gonna spoil it because I know what's gonna happen now, but you'll see. So instead of annexing Austria, I'm just going to release it as a puppet because you're meant to do this, apparently. So yeah, I got to do that. Anyway, before I go in on Italy, I want to spark the flames of revolution across all my neighboring countries. And they actually have a choice. They can let us do it and they get increased communist support, or if they deny it, we then get a war goal against them. So now I can do all this, communist propaganda and all my German-speaking neighbors. I did a bunch and none of them said no, which is kind of a shame. Last time, Switzerland said no, and then I got to invade them and just have a longer border against Italy, which is incredibly useful. Oh, there we go. I can do the super heavy howitzers. This is good. I'm going to use this. Instead of support artillery, you can do the super heavy howitzers. They're really nice. I also forgot to mention that the countries that I put communist support in, when they get around 40%, they go into a civil war. And this makes alt history games really interesting when you're not playing as Germany, because then it actually gives use to ideology drift defense and stuff like that. I really want to try and go for Italy, but it might be really hard. And like, even if I take out Italy, how am I supposed to get to nationalist Spain? Which is continued. I want to go to war with Italy. The problem is, I've started all these communist uprisings in all these other countries, and if they go into a civil war and I'm still at war with Italy, I can't send volunteers to go help them out. So I decide to wait until the end of the year, and next year we will go in on Italy. There we go. One more. No, can't do one more. That's good. That's fine. There's our Panzer. I think it's that. Oh! The Lithuanians have become the People's Republic. Was that me? That must have been me. Are me and the Soviets fighting over Lithuania? Well, I'm going to demand their subjugation. So we're going to have Lithuania. But surely that won't put me at war with the Soviets. Yes, that was me who cooed Lithuania. And I forgot to mention, I have my own faction, the Proletariat International. It's me, Lithuania, and Austria. There we go, we got German Lithuania. So that's two puppets right now. Lithuania and Austria. Oh, Soviet-German trade agreement. Hey, see now it's like really fitting. This Soviet-German trade agreement actually makes sense. I also make my quote-unquote professional divisions a lot stronger because I'm going to have less of them and more militias, meaning I can make these professional ones really, really good. Anyway, with the new upgrade to the army, I decided it was time to liberate Italy. I wonder what Italy's going to do. Because they got their own focus tree too. They're probably going to be trying to make alliances and stuff. It is historical, but when I go ahistorical, sometimes the AI decides to go ahistorical too. Just Hungary has gotten a lot bigger. They may end up allying with Italy, which would be kind of a problem, and so may Bulgaria too. They have an option to ally with Italy as well. There's going to be a red wave of revolutions that are just going to sweep across Europe any second now. Any second, it's going to happen. Immediately after I said that, Belgium went into a civil war. Now, I couldn't send volunteers because they were in my faction. All I could do was just send equipment and, I guess, attachés. The leader looks like Walter White, though, which is kind of funny. Can I beat Italy? That is the question. I'm going to go to war with them now. So I can do stuff like this, like support them with guns. That's nice. My border with Italy is really short and filled with mountains, so I don't imagine I'm going to be pushing, and neither do I imagine they are too. My aim is to just wait for the Allies to invade them, and taking on two of us, they won't win. They're not guaranteed by anyone. Let's see if we can take them out. Air is good. I think we are going to have supremacy in the air. Campaign. Oh, yes, we get these campaign bonuses, even as not historical. Command subjugation of the Luxembourg commune. There we go. Now we got communist Luxembourg. How's the civil war going here? Surely but we can't intervene? That kind of sucks how we can't intervene in this war. By now, we are well and truly into the wave of red uprisings. Even the Netherlands has flipped and we can demand their subjugation. And then for some reason, they went into a civil war, both of them communist. It's a bit broken. Whatever, it's fine, they'll end up on our side either way. Now, in the beginning of 1941, the Soviets attacked Poland, and I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to get Poland as an ally with my civil war. I guess that's some bad news, but there's also good news, because the Allies declared war on Italy, meaning we can actually invade them. Now I can demand subjugation of the Netherlands too. So we're going to have the whole of the lowlands. We're going to have Lithuania, Austria, I don't know about Switzerland. They're very close. Oh, there we go. There's the Denmark one. Should be able to support them pretty soon. There we go. Support the uprising for the Danes. But things get even crazier because at the exact same time, both Czechoslovakia and Poland descend into a civil war. For some reason, the communist Poland joined the Comintern, probably because the people they're fighting are fighting the Soviets. But I was still hopeful I could get Czechoslovakia, but these would be one of the hardest civil wars that I could win. Oh, we got Switzerland as well. Okay, cool. Communist Switzerland is done an uprising. And we get to support them with 2,000 guns. Alright, anyway, I'm going to establish the Volkommissariats. Wait, I thought Poland joined the Comintern. Wait, Italy declared war on Switzerland. And now Poland have flipped back to us, which is great. So now the communist Czechoslovakia and the communist Poland are on our side. And then Italy declared war on the normal Switzerland, dragging them into the Allies. And they're still in a civil war, and the other side of the civil war is allied with me. So after some calculating in my head, I realized that I was under threat of going to war with the Allies. These guys have joined the Allies. By now, it's pretty much over for Italy. Pressure is mounting on both sides from the Allies and me, and they're going to collapse any second. But this means I'm going to go to war with the Allies now, because I'm not splitting Italy with them, and I'm also about to help my communist Czechoslovakia invade the rest of normal Czechoslovakia. I could also finally establish my Volkommissariats, okay? I start with the lowlands because they're the furthest away from any conflict. Maybe I need to go war with the Allies. I swear if France joins the Allies, I'm going to cry. That's fine. Okay, you know what? I will join their war. Fortunately, the Allies is just Britain and Czechia. That's the whole of the Allies, pretty much. Oh, and the half of Switzerland. Crush the Czech Republic. I don't need my army on France. They're not in the Allies. Oh, there we go. Look, they're all the same color now. All my puppets. They're all the same color. Because they're integrated puppets, I think. I easily crushed the Czech Republic. All I have to worry about is my ports and the Italian front. Oh, there's also the Danish front still. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, we'll beat them. Oh, there goes Denmark. Oh, the Danish Civil Union. Yeah, I got player led on, so now I can do this. Cool. Mussolini was deposed and they went into a civil war. Benito is deposed, but Italy declared war on Yugoslavia. For some reason they did that, so Yugoslavia might join the Allies, so I moved my army off the French border and put them on the Yugoslavian border because they're more likely to join the Allies, right? However, I was wrong, because apparently I guess France felt the threat of communism in Europe, or especially Western Europe. They decided to join the Allies immediately. There we go, France is at war with us. Can these guys put the divisions on the French border, or they just don't want to do that, do they? Romania joined the United Kingdom. Dude, they're choosing the Allies over me. Everyone in Europe, man. Yugoslavia and Hungary are going to join the Allies. It's going to happen. I can sense it. Fortunately, France wasn't going to be too much of an issue. They still have their disjointed government, meaning their surrender limit is through the floor. I'll put my tanks in the north, because I think France still have their, like, really easy capitulation debuff, where it's like disjointed government. Yeah. And I was right. France capitulated relatively easily, so all that's left with the Allies is Romania, which we don't border, and the British puppet of Italy. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Look at that. Okay, apparently I lied. Italy has just gone into a civil war now, but the British still got the puppet. I annexed everything I had control of and then continued rolling through the rest of Italy. Let's to end fascist Europe, so we're going to go in and fight Spain too. The United States joined the United Kingdom. I'm officially at war with America. This is by far one of the craziest games. Things just keep happening. Also, I'm going to invade Spain. What is this? How did they take that? How am I going to lose all my... What the hell? And now we can't push here. Nice. I then declared war on Spain, and they immediately joined the Allies, so I was hoping I could capitulate them before before the Allies could get troops there. But that wouldn't be till next year, and to finish off this year, I subjugated Poland. Okay, 1942. What is going on here? What is this? What has happened here? What has happened? Oh my gosh, it's just endless oh no, it's not going to be one of these games where it's just endless invasions, is it? Italy is under control, I promise. I'll tell you what's actually under control. Nationalist Spain, okay? We're going through there like, I don't know, like an unstoppable force. What's an unstoppable force? A rocket into space. Hey, there goes Spain. Alright. Now this should be a lot easier to take out, and then I have so much of my army free. We're just gonna get a red Europe. We can now increase communist support in countries that we don't border. So I guess Yugoslavia, Hungary, we might be able to do. Actually getting a greater Hungary than turning communist. That'd be pretty good for us. I evacuated out of the middle of Italy. I'm going to try and take it back, but Sicily is going to continue to be a pain in the ass for me for the entire game. I completed the focus hegemony over Europe, and then the Soviet Union asked to join my faction. Also, I can proclaim the Greater German Proletariat State if I have full control of the highlighted territories. I couldn't convince Hungary to be communist, so I just invaded them. Anyway, to proclaim the Greater German Proletariat State, I need to capitulate Britain, so it looks like I'm gonna have to pull off an Operation Sea Lion in this video. Alright, there we go. Now I can do the final focus down here. Reintegrate the Volkommissariats. However, an Operation Sea Lion may be kinda hard, considering they're the ones who are invading me.
Drum hat der Stiefel im Gesicht nicht
I completed the focus integrate the Volkommissariat, so all of my integrator puppets I can now just annex. This includes Denmark, the Lowlands, Austria, Poland, Czechoslovakia, like all of them. I also had a war goal on Finland, so I just declared war on them, hoping the Soviets would deal with it. And then finally Yugoslavia did their civil war. And so the what is this broken game, man? The non-aligned Yugoslavia joined my faction, and the communist Yugoslavia joined the Allies, man. What is this? You know what? It doesn't matter. Everything is fine, okay? All I'm focused on is capitulating Britain, because I am bent on declaring this or proclaiming this greater proletariat German state. Portugal joins the Allies. Oh, they're going to start pushing into Spain. I also destroyed this naval invasion that had been there for a while. There's a lot of Americans here, so I'm glad I did. And after crushing that invasion, this was the first step into invading or liberating Britain. Earlier of a D-Day. That was the worst D-Day I've ever seen. Oh, that's so many divisions. Oh my god! We finally capitulated British Italy? How? Anyway, I set up my invasion into Britain to go through the North Sea. However, I'm waiting for advanced landing craft so I can get as many divisions onto this invasion as I can. But there was an even bigger issue, to get supremacy against the British. So I decided to put my fleet on strike force in the eastern North Sea, where I would then engage in a battle against their fleet. And believe it or not, we won it. I mean, we did take a lot of losses, but so did they, and I think we can get supremacy now. That is a win. No, that is a win. Look at this. I think I have supremacy now. Oh, we got it. We're in. We're locked in. And with this new DLC, Britain actually defends themselves, okay? So this is going to be a lot harder than normally. Oh, I landed in Edinburgh, though. Is that a port? No. The invasion into northern England, I was struggling to get a port, but the one in Scotland was a whole different story. I've actually done something. We've made it somewhere. They're arriving. They're arriving! And I'm still actually fighting for this port, which is crazy. Might end up taking it too. With some reinforcements, I managed to get full control of Scotland and began marching down into northern England, saving those divisions that were trying to fight for that port. However, they also invaded me across the channel, but it's too late for them. I'm going to capitulate them before they can capitulate me. Liberation of Paris. Yeah, right. That's short-lived. Short-lived. I'm still on limited conscription. Let me go to extensive real quick. I think I need to go to extensive. Can't believe I'm still on limited. That's crazy. Fall of London. Okay, come on. Capitulate. I capitulated Britain, and fortunately, I didn't have to own them in the peace deal to do the decision, I just had to control it. But there was still one more island I needed to invade, and that was Corsica. Once I got that, I could then proclaim the Republic, or the big proletariat state. Despite opposition from all sides, we have managed to overcome the corrupt government of Western Europe. The shackles of capitalism have been shattered, and the new order dawns over Europe and the world. Yes! German proletariat state. Greater German proletariat state. Oh, this is beautiful. We have won the war and cored the entirety of Western Europe, so I think it's fair that America offers us a conditional surrender, because it would be so unrealistic that they'd keep on fighting. So I got the peace deal, but I'm not going to touch North America, because obviously they did the conditional surrender. America want a conditional surrender. For the peace deal, I annexed all of Western Europe, made a big Yugoslavia, gave the Soviets Romania and Finland because they did stuff, and then just liberated most of Africa. We still have free France around, I guess, but I don't know. We got control of Europe, that's all that matters. I'm gonna say something, alright guys? Are you ready? You ready for what I'm about to say? Literally 1984, right? Look at this. This is exactly like 1984. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching me establish a workers' council in Western Europe. I can't wait to check out other paths from this DLC. Mods are going to be returning soon, don't worry. I just want to make the most of this DLC. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.